LoreWarrior Vehicles, BFFL Buffalo. A vehicle dating back to the Terran days for its supply and support services, the BFFL survived the centuries on the strength of its simplicity. A basic crew cab, an efficient engine, and 4 sets of universal cargo cubicle hardpoints are the elementary components of the Buffalo. Jared Westphal, an enterprising young man serving a tour of duty in the Hegemony Armed Forces, assigned to the Logistics Command on New Earth at the time, commanded an underground cargo staging point. As his final tour was coming to an end, he was looking for business opportunities on New Earth, and after convincing the planetary quartermaster, with a case of rare imported brandy, to retire 10 of the older Buffaloes, the veteran took them, cleaned them up, restored them to factory condition, and started the Westphal Cargo Carrier Company. One of Westphal's initial clients was the famed New Earth Trading Company. NETC officials commented on how the Buffalo was a relatively quiet hover truck thanks to its fuel cell-powered electric engine, and at the same time, the BFFL was able to handle large amounts of cargo due to its simple but rather robust transmission system. After failed attempts by NETC to license the design, the corporate board decided to simply buy the company who designed the BFFL. Capitalizing on the opportunity now to license the design to vehicle manufacturers across the Inner Sphere, NETC's land-based cargo crawlers division remained one of the more consistent divisions in the company. All the while, Westphal Cargo Carrier Company shuttled thousands of tons of cargo around New Earth every week for the next 150 years. Understanding that while owner and operators would rename their trucks anyway, the advertising and marketing people at New Earth Trading Company knew they had to market it to the procurement offices of other corporations. The designation the HAF gave the truck, BFFL, was shortened from Behind Friendly Lines Fixed Logistics, an accurate description for a truck that was never designed to come near the battlefront, the name still being rather unwieldy. Noting the relative size of the truck as it moved through traffic, a random marketing fellow joked with a coworker that the damn things looked like a buffalo herd heading out to pasture. Unfortunately for the fellow, his office mate fired off an electronic message to their boss with her suggestion for a name, and despite cries of foul play, the young lady wound up with a raise and a promotion to the head of the then renamed Buffalo Department of Cargo Crawlers. The fall of the Star League, along with the following succession wars, had very little impact on sales of the Buffalo. The most difficult part of the truck to produce, the transmission system, was still relatively simple. The only impact the succession wars had on the design was a change of materials used to make the transmission itself, and even then it was only a matter of a few hundred kilograms between the lighter and heavier transmissions. But in an industry where every kilogram does count, owners of the Buffaloes did welcome the reintroduction of lighter transmission systems, as the metallurgical knowledge of the Helm memory core spread. Trying to say that word quickly is going to fuck me up every time. So yeah, this is the BFFL Buffalo. It's a 100-ton vehicle. It's an electric fuel cell. It can cruise at 5 and flank at 8, which is quite fast for a 100-ton vehicle when you think about it. It has 8 armour on the front, 6 on the sides, and 6 on the rear sides, and then it has 6 on the rear itself. Has no weapon complement, of course, but it can carry 40 tons in the containment pod on the back. And as you can see from the artwork, it's a relatively large vehicle, but that's the point. It's basically it's a lorry or a truck for mass cargo transport across an entire world. Which, yeah, makes sense for it being 100 tons. And it's a hover vehicle as well, which presumably means it can also bypass certain hazards or terrain, or just difficult terrain, if need be. It can simply go across small bodies of water, for instance, or be able to ignore some road systems entirely, if, I guess, the drivers are allowed to. I don't know. You can see in the back of the image there that it has a kind of Thunderbird 2 type system, where pods are removed in a modular system. It also suggests that the vehicle can also be a lot longer, possibly extending it by having several pods that it can carry at once, possibly with different types of cargo inside them. Yeah, interesting little vehicle. Obviously an important part of the logistics chain of any world, and likely something that would be a prime target for raiders, for instance, either getting hold of these vehicles for themselves, being able to haul massive amounts of loot that they might be able to carry, but also for invading forces, being able to disrupt logistics and supply chains on planets during campaigns, being able to do things like choking out cities from vital supplies like food and other like medical equipment, that kind of thing, or being used by the invaders themselves for being able to transport large amounts of their own goods. It's a relatively simple vehicle, but it does the job. And I think that's pretty much all I got for the Buffalo. It's an interesting little design, nice bit of background to it, and it's just again one of those things that largely gets ignored, I think. Again in the world of BattleTech, but yeah, there you go. That's what a hover truck would look like in the world of BattleTech across the Inner Sphere. So I'll leave you with that one. Thanks for joining, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.